actually to give people who have questions about it or who are finding it challenging a little bit of a backstory about the 6-phase meditation, and also to offer you my 5-minute hack version of it, because some of the questions or the thoughts and feelings about the 6-phase meditation that have come up in the group I think are really, really valid and really exciting, because it means you're engaging with it. And also that, you know, that like anything, these things are designed to be evolved. You know, Vishen is part of or has created Mindvalley, which is an absolute, you know, world leader in innovation. And I think he'd be the first person to be excited to hear that we're kind of evolving or hacking his method. So I'm just going to talk to you briefly about where Vishen came up with the 6-phase meditation and why he created it. So Vishen was a computer engineer working in Silicon Valley, working for Microsoft, very successful and very unhappy. And so he started to explore what it was that he felt he was missing, so the deeper meaning of his life. And what he did is he booked into a meditation program that he went to. I think he had to catch a plane to get there, whether it was in San Francisco or somewhere. And when he got there, he was the only student. Now, this really triggered something for him. That first of all, that this really, really quite amazing course was empty except for him. And that was a problem, that there are people out there in the name of spirituality doing amazing things and not making any money out of it. Now, you know, if you've hung out with me, that's one of my big problems as well, is that we have this kind of cultural acceptance that people who are working as spiritual entrepreneurs or on their path of service don't deserve or don't feel safe to be successful. And of course, that's a conversation that I am very excited about changing. So that was the first thing that Vishen noticed. But the second thing that really occurred to him was that if you look at all of the great world religions and you look at all of the philosophies where meditation is used, there are uniting themes. There are things that kind of occur again and again and again. And so being the computer engineer he decided to hack meditation. And he brought together the central tenets or the central ideas of the world's great religions, you know, their meditation practices, and he hacked it together. And each one of those component parts sort of is part of what he has decided is sort of the highest, most efficient version of meditation, what you're actually trying to do. Now, we know there's lots of different reasons that we meditate. And I guess I wanted to jump in and sort of say, before you dismiss it as visualization, or before you kind of think, well, you know, I don't need this, because I believe that what Vishen has created, and his term is consciousness engineering, is a tool that supports us to completely change our mind about the reality in which we live. Now, if you've hung out with me or you've studied with me, you'll know that this is also absolutely vital to everything that I teach. We are energy first, physical second. And it's when we get too caught up in the problems of our life, when we go into meditation looking to solve things, when we get caught up in sort of turning up to God with a long shopping list of what we think our life needs in order to be successful, that's when we really do start to get stuck. And I've noticed that some people are observing. Their feeling is that the visualization, particularly the 3 years and what would you do tomorrow to bring that vision of your life 3 years from now into reality, is sort of causing feelings of like, well, this isn't actually meditation. This is actually, you know, I don't do this kind of thing. I don't know what the vision of my life 3 years from now is. I don't know how to kind of successfully do this practice without getting really stuck in my head. So I want to give you my version, and I want to give you tools that we have talked about a lot in this group that I believe are absolutely simpatico with what Vishen is saying, but giving you a slightly different paradigm. If we are, as I believe we are, energy first, physical second, and we follow the Hermetic laws, there's 3 immutable laws that we are, which are the law of vibration, the law of mentalism, and the law of correspondence, then there's another way to practice the 6-phase meditation that I believe may be a little bit more in alignment with some of the very masterful women and men we have in this group. So of course, I want you to think about this also. Vishen is coming from a pseudo-spiritual paradigm. He's very spiritual himself, but he talks, Mindvalley and the offers from Mindvalley are sometimes spiritual and sometimes not. So he's sort of appealing to a much broader audience. Hello, Rachel, lovely to see you here. He's appealing to a much broader audience than say we're out and proud. We are a spiritual group here, and we're spiritually fierce. So we've probably taken some of the concepts of the 6 phase meditation and we've already moved beyond them. So how do we hack it for us? How do we take it to the next level? The 3 immutable laws are the answer. So I want to break it down a little bit for you, and then we'll go through the practice together, which I will very much try to keep to 5 minutes to prove that it's possible. Because the 6 phase meditation is 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how long you spend in that post guided state. And for a lot of us, that might be too much, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. We can actually go into this practice in a completely different way. So the 6 parts of the meditation are we're expanding into a sense of unity with all that there is. The unified field, as quantum physics tells us, is it is a truth, it's a scientific fact, and we know from a spiritual perspective, we might call that the divine matrix. That's really the truth, that the first Hermetic law, all is of the mind, all is of the one mind. So we all belong to that one mind, and what we're doing in that first part of the 6 phase meditation is simply removing that belief that we are separate and finite and vulnerable, and we're connecting back into our own superpower, which is that we are one with God, or whatever language you want to put around that. One with the unified field of everything, if you just want to keep it in that quantum physics language. The second part of the meditation is where you go into gratitude. Now, we know that that is an incredibly powerful practice, but we're probably beyond the point where we need to make a mental list of 5 things. Maybe you do, but if you've been following me, you're probably good at doing the heart coherence practice, yes? And you recognize that heart coherence is like a really advanced version of making a gratitude list. It's also expanding us out of our personal field and uniting us with that much bigger field. It's our acknowledgement that what we're feeling, and this is where the second law, the law of correspondence, comes in. The second law is as above, so below, as within, so without. What I'm feeling within me is what I am offering to the world, and also what I'm inviting back in. It's a two-way communication network, if you like. So I say, if you are short on time and you want to hack the 6 phase meditation, which is a hack of all the world's great meditations, then we're going to jump straight into heart coherence. So don't worry if you're just jumping in now, we're going to go through this practice together. The heart coherence is the gratitude. The heart coherence is the unifying with the infinite field. It's us remembering that we are not vulnerable. Yep. So we're going to use that. That's our first step. Then we've got the forgiveness. Now, the forgiveness, of course, we also understand at a very high level. You cannot have gratitude if you don't have forgiveness. So what we're talking about here is very much about, the two sides of the same coin. How do we feel grateful for the events of our life? Well, we have to have forgiven. We have to not feel like victims of our reality. We have to have found a way to recognize the first law. All is one. That person who wounded me is actually part of me, and if I'm holding unforgiveness towards them, then I'm also holding unforgiveness towards myself. So let's hack this phase. Let's move straight into Ho'oponopono. Yes, don't even need to conjure anybody up, because really, wherever there's unforgiveness towards anybody or anything, we're out of alignment. So remember, this is not to replace this is not to replace the 6 phase meditation. I love the 6 phase meditation. I'm with you, Helen. It's absolutely a game changer. All I'm doing is offering you a little bit of the rationale and a little bit of the spiritual mastery that we as a group have probably got, that many of the people who practice 6 phase don't. So we're taking it to the next level. We're making it a spiritually fierce 5-minute hack or accelerated version. So it's very exciting to me. Okay. Heart coherence, Ho'oponopono. Then we're going into the vision of my life 3 years from now. Now, this is where a lot of people are reporting that they're getting stuck, and I completely get that. Depending on my mood from day to day, I'm either like full of vision and things that I want to create, or like, oh my God, just getting out of bed is a really big deal. So what are we doing here? Now, this is where we're going into the law of vibration. I do not believe that you need to know the details of your life 3 years from now in order to line up with the best, highest version of your life 3 years from now. Now, if you've studied with me, you'll know this is the law of mentalism and quantum physics. Every possible future has already happened, yeah? Every possible future for your life has already happened. How do you line up with the version of reality that is the highest and most joyful and most abundant and most wildly successful? It's got nothing to do with the images you hold in your mind, and everything to do with the feeling state that you generate, because the feeling is the prayer. Yeah, remember this if you studied with me. If you haven't, don't worry. It all makes sense. That everything is vibrating. And what influences the way or the rate of vibration, the frequency that vibration is being sent out into the world, is the feeling state, the heart center. So you've already done this with heart coherence. You've already gone to the highest level. But let's do a little bit more here, because it's really, really exciting to spend as much time as possible generating the highest possible vibration that we can. And in order to do this, you simply sit in a state of the feeling that you want to occupy in your life, yeah? So we're not trying to say, I will have, a 6 or 7 figure business, I will drive a Mercedes Benz, I will have a holiday house here, I will do this, my kids will be like this, my husband will be like that, my marriage will be like that. None of that detail is useful, because you don't know how far the infinite wants to take you. And I guarantee you the vision you have for your life is a tiny, tiny scrap of what the infinite is actually wanting for you. So why don't we get out of the way? Why don't we stop trying to tell God or the infinite what to bring us, and we just line up with the feeling of what we want to be living? Because all we're doing then is saying to the universe, more of this, please. It's the law of vibration. Like attracts like. You will bring more of that feeling state. And you are not limiting the infinite. You might think your highest good is a particular job that you apply for. But if you don't get that job, you're going to think your life is over. If you've decided that job is your highest good. But what if you truly, truly surrender and trust the infinite and know that if you didn't get that job, that's simply because there is something far, far greater waiting for you. And how do you get that far greater thing? You don't sit at home kind of creating vision boards. You take all of the feeling state that you can muster, that you want to be living in, and you hold that and you feel that moving out from the heart center, which is the largest magnetic field, produces the largest magnetic field of any part of your physical body, and is pumping out the prayer through the heart. So here, what you can do, if you like, and we'll do this, we'll go through the practice, is rather than saying, okay, holding a vision, I've got to see myself, I'm on holiday, I'm in, Mauritius, and it feels really good, and my husband's there, and my kids are all happy, and everybody, okay, and my business is doing this, and you might actually start feeling more stressed because you can't get all the detail you want, and then you worry that the detail is not right, and that's what's going out to the universe, and you actually just line up with the vibration of what you want. So remember, we're not replacing the 6-phase meditation here, we're hacking it. And we're taking all of these spiritual masters in this group and meeting you where you are. The next phase is part of that same practice. So what would I need to do tomorrow in order to bring that vision of my life 3 years from now? Well, what you've got to do is hold that vibration with a commitment, with discipline. You don't ever have an excuse not to go there. Nothing in your life, not today, not tomorrow, not ever, is bigger than that feeling that you are allowed to generate in any moment. You are creator gods, and your willingness to turn up and generate that feeling without excuse. I can give you every sob story in the world. Every single person has a reason not to step into their spiritual mastery. And none of that will fly. Not with me, not in this group, not today. You have the capacity to generate the feeling state, knowing that the feeling is the prayer. And all you have to do is hold that feeling. The infinite knows a lot more than you do about your highest, best, most spectacular life. So hand it over. Hand it all over. And if you're having trouble at that moment, at this phase, what I'm going to get you to do is whatever is most bothering you, whether it's, the health of your children, or if it's, the state of your marriage, or if it's the financial situation of your life, or whether it's the chaos in your business, you say this thing. Okay, so my marriage, dear God, thy will be done. And so you're not trying to know how to fix You're simply getting out of the way and you're letting the infinite work for you on your behalf, okay? So that's a beautiful thing. Now, the last phase of the 6-phase meditation is my favorite, and it's everything that we've just talked about. What he's truly saying here when he says, let whatever you believe in bless you, is that you are simply removing the first law, the law of mentalism, the belief that you are separate from that which you are seeking. So you're bringing yourself back into a state where you are one with that much bigger part of you, and you're moving out of your limited, finite human consciousness back into merging with that much bigger part of you that is always blessing you. You know, the infinite, the universe is always blessing you. It's us who says, no, that's not how it's supposed to look. It was supposed to look like this, that prevents us from accepting the miracle that is being offered in every moment, yeah? Our expectations, our intentions, our goals are often the thing that prevent the miracle from entering into us. So in a way, you know, yes, we do want to hack the 6-phase meditation because we really want to go to that much higher level of knowing that we of ourselves can do nothing. But when we return to full partnership with the infinite, we go back into knowing our true state as unlimited. All we need to do in order to bring that home to us is to get out of the way. So who would like to do the 5-minute hacked version of the 6-phase meditation, where we're going from that kind of much higher level of spiritual mastery, of understanding that we are infinite, unlimited consciousness, remembering that Vishen is talking to a really big audience. So it's not like, you know, he's trying to talk specifically to spiritual people here. So we can kind of be a little bit more efficient with this, yeah? Okay, beautiful. Gita says yes, so that's enough for me. That means we're doing it. So we are going to go now inwards. If you need to listen to this and do it at another time, you know you've got the recording. So by all means, you know, don't do it now if it's not safe to do so, but you can listen anyway. And for anyone who can do it live with us now, let's have a crack at it. Closing down the eyes, deep breath in through the nose, letting it go out through the mouth with a sigh. Letting go of all the effort, all the effort required to bring you to this point in your day. And letting your body sink even more deeply into whatever you're sitting on. Your deepened breath, your eyes closed, signifying to your physiology that you are very, very safe. Moving out of that fight, flight, or freeze response into an expansive, fully present state of consciousness. Coming home to the ever-present now. Taking 2 fingers to the center of your chest. And turning your mental energy to generating images, thoughts of people, places, events, experiences for which you truly feel profound gratitude, compassion, appreciation. Letting that feeling state fill you up from head to toe, every cell of your body filling with that feeling of appreciation, gratitude, or compassion. And that feeling is so big and so expansive that it moves out through your physical body, through your field, and out into the unified field, connecting everything. Knowing that every single feeling state you generate is being fed into the unified field, into the divine matrix, and that takes you away from feeling isolated and small. You are literally programming the consciousness of the cosmos. What is it that you want to be putting out into the world, into the universe? What is it that you want to be calling back to you? Because it is a two-way communication system. Now just lying both hands across your heart, we're simply now going to repeat silently or out loud, depending on your preference, the Ho'oponopono. You may find that someone comes to mind, but don't worry if there's no one there specifically. The whole world needs our forgiveness. We need our forgiveness. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And now in this open, expansive and connected state, I want you to bring to mind, bring to heart the feeling state that is success to you, whether it be love, abundance. It's not a feeling state, but an abundant feeling perhaps, freedom, joy, contentment, bliss, peace. Bring that feeling into your heart consciousness, your heart brain. And a little bit like the heart coherence part of this practice, let that feeling fill you, but don't stop there. Imagine there's a balloon and you're filling that balloon. You're filling it to the point where you feel like it might burst. Just keep bringing every breath back to generating that feeling state. For me, it's freedom. Freedom. Freedom is absolutely the highest feeling of success. Joy is in there. Wonder, excitement, contentment, all of those feelings, just keep generating them. And if the ego mind tries to jump in with any thoughts, just say, not now. Beautiful. Just keep filling that balloon. Let it expand completely, surrounding you and everything, and maybe the whole room, and maybe your whole house, and maybe the entire planet. And now, notice that you are shining so brightly, so luminous. See yourself as part of that divine matrix, that unified field, but so radiant that the whole cosmos, the infinite consciousness, has noticed you. And now feel love, appreciation, gratitude coming at you from every direction, front, back, top, bottom, both sides of your being, as though there are angels surrounding you. You're being blessed from every side. That energy that you held on behalf of the entire consciousness of the planet is now being brought back to you, exponentially supercharged. Feel that blessing rain down upon you. Top of your head, soles of your feet, every part of your body being washed with this blessing. Now take your hands in Anjali Mudra, prayer position, and bow your head to the wisdom of your heart intelligence. Deep breath in, let it go out through the mouth with a sigh. And when you're ready, blinking, open your eyes. And you just did it. I don't know how long that took, but I'm guessing you could do that in 5 minutes. That is like if you like, the spiritually fierce 5-minute hack version of the 6-phase meditation, where we're moving beyond thinking like humans, thinking like we need to have a vision of what our life is 3 years from now. We don't. We simply have to have a willingness and a commitment to make a choice for love first. And that these tools that we work with all of the time, you can put together in a system combined with pranayama, with breath, which is going to activate everything that you would have done if you'd made a vision board or you'd created a vision of your life 3 years from now. You know, every time I do the 6-phase meditation, my vision changes a little bit. And I know that if we were worried, or our perfectionist or our saboteur was kind of jumping in there, they'd say, well, this is wrong. You have to have one vision, and otherwise you're confusing the infinite. What we've just done then is absolutely drop out of the head, cranial brain, and into the heart's intelligence, which doesn't speak human language. It speaks feeling state. And so generating a feeling state according to the laws of the universe is always going to be so much more powerful than coming up with a mental list or an actual literal vision of reality, because I guarantee you that the vision that the infinite holds for your life is so much more spectacular than the vision that you hold. So by doing this version of the practice, you're getting yourself out of the way, you're getting out of your head, you're moving totally into that feeling energetic state. You're using all the same tools: gratitude, appreciation, forgiveness, and receiving the blessing of the infinite, the incredible power of your mind, but you're letting the energy be the prayer. The feeling is the prayer. So I'm very excited about that 5-minute hack version, and I'd love to hear how you go with it.